Greg Bedard over the weekend on Matthew Judon, saying he's not going to play under his current contract. And that's what Greg Bedard is hearing, which Matthew Judon, it got back to him somehow. Or maybe he just saw the tweet in which, it was highlighted. Bedard saying in a tweet he's not going to play under his current contract, upon which Matthew Judon replied, quote, "Before y'all get on my ass, I didn't say that." And now I need more tweet translating, because there's my lack of online engagement is getting really aggravating.
It's becoming a problem.
It is really becoming a problem. I don't know what's going on, and I hardly know what's being said anymore. Because there was another exchange that Barth had to translate for me. But anyway.
That's why we have Barth here.
Judon replied, "Before y'all get on my ass, I didn't say that. At all, don't let them make me the villain." Okay, so at all, don't let them make me. Is that like a typo or just I'm
assuming it's I didn't say that at all.
I didn't say that at all.
I think the period's in the wrong place there. That's how I read it.
Or it's just shorthand.
Right.
I didn't say that at all. At all. Because there was another one. What was the other one, Barth? Where some a random fan on Twitter said we got to pay Matthew Judon. It's going to hurt us if we don't, and we're going to suck it unless we sign Matthew Judon. We have to sign Matthew Judon. And Judon replied by saying, "I-O-N, don't think that's happening?"
Yeah, I own. It's just shorthand for I don't.
How did we get to I own?
Don't ask me.
So I guess if you say I don't quickly, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
All right, I got it. Okay.
It's not like Ion, like the TV channel.
I literally had to email Barth back, what does Ion mean?
I almost pointed that out when I first put it in too, but
you should have. Okay. Yeah, assume
lesson learned. Yeah.
Assume I just got off, the spaceship from Planet Zippy.
Barth actually asked me this morning. He said, "Hey, does Mike like more detail or less in the email?" And what I really should have said, I said more. I said you always want to have more. Put your takes in there. What I really should have said is, and please make sure to put the Felger translator on everything.
Don't assume I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't. Don't worry.
Because especially that's so catching up to me. It's so I'm getting annoyed by it, where I just know it's like I'll walk in and someone will say, "Well, you had a tough day today." I'm like, "No, I didn't. I was good." You're okay? I'm like, I don't. So something happened online. I did something or something. I don't know. Or simply as someone will say, "Well, you know what? As we all saw that. Well, he didn't do that." I'm like, I didn't see. What are you talking about? And it's sort of adding up now, and I get a daily frustration. And now it's so I don't is now Ion.
Ion.
Okay.
Ion.
You kind of throw it away.
I'd put a dash in there. Ion.
I don't think that's happening, he said. So is Judon refuting the Bedard report point blank? Or is he leaving some wiggle room there?
I think there's some wiggle room. Will he not play under his current contract? I guess technically.
Well, but you're saying, before you get on my ass, I didn't say that. No one's saying you said that.
Right. No one's saying you said anything.
You haven't said anything.
This is not. You're not quote tweeting anything. You're not directly responding to anything.
But are you saying then that you will show up and play under your current contract? Because you're not saying that either. Mm-hmm. You're not. All you're saying is that you didn't say that on the record, which you have not. Categorically true. Bedard never said you said that. So, do you see the nuance here that he's trying to get away with? Of course you didn't say that. No one's saying you said that. Bedard's saying he heard it. Is it true or not? He didn't address it. He said, "I didn't say that. Don't make me the villain." True. That wasn't Bedard's report. Anyway, what do you think of the situation, Alex?
So I wrote back in February that they were going to have to do something about Matthew Judon, and this was kind of simmering under what was a very busy offseason because last year he wanted an update to his contract, and essentially what they did was they took the money from this year and moved it up in order to... They added some new money as well, but that was part of the mechanic. Well, now they can't do that because this is the last year of the contract. This is the same thing that happened with Stephon Gilmore a couple of years ago where he wanted a new deal. They moved money up. Then he got hurt. There's a lot of similarities. Wasn't ready for the start of camp. We weren't sure, is he hurt? Is it his contract? And then whatever it is, 2 months later, he's a Carolina Panther, right? They traded him for nothing. So I would be surprised, even before Greg's report, there's no guaranteed money in Judon's deal. I would be surprised if a guy 31 years old in a contract year coming off an injury wants to play for no guaranteed money. Most guys in that situation wouldn't. The question is, because he's older, because they're starting this rebuild, what's the timetable? Can you pay him for the short term and keep him here and go the different ways? Does it make sense to extend him long term when what's your window to be competing again? Or do you trade him? I think that he would have some real trade value, but the problem is the longer you wait, the more that value goes down. The real value to trade him if they were going to do that was in March or April.
What's he at right now? How much does he make?
He's at, I got to pull it up. It's all like roster bonuses and stuff, so it's not an exact number.
Tell me where he's at and what he needs to be made whole, meaning what gets him to his fair market price. Because whatever that is, that's what I would want them to do. Pay him. And I'm not telling you 5 years with $100 million signing bonus. No. I'm talking about this year. This year, get him up to his market. And then go from there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wants maybe a year or two more. Because he's going into his age 32 season. Is it, this is my last chance to get a payday. I got to get what I can get.
So I know others have reported that the Pats have made an offer to him. They've offered him a raise, and he's turned it down. So, maybe he's asking for too much. I'm sure he is. I'm sure the team looks at him and saying, you're asking for too much, as they always do. I don't doubt that. But I just if the two paths are, trade him or sign him, I sign him. So, where are you going anywhere? We're not going anywhere this year. I'm still trying to win games. I'm just being consistent on this. I want them to win as many games as possible and try to win as many games as possible and build their program by winning games, not losing them. So as part of that plan, that path, Matthew Judon's on my team. And they've got money coming out of their ears that they haven't been spending. So there is zero impact on your ability to build a team if you give Matthew Judon some extra money. All it is money out of someone's pocket somewhere else, meaning at the ownership level. All that is that. Doesn't impact your cap, doesn't impact your cash spend. You've got oodles of money to spend. So spend it on this guy in the short term, win as many games as you can, and that's what I want them to do. I don't want them to trade him. What do you think?
I'm with you for most of that. The one thing I'd say is if they are going to trade him, if that's really on the table, sooner rather than later. Because again, I go back to that Gilmore situation where they let it run out, and the reality is you get to October, teams are already built, money's already been allocated, Judon's going to need a new contract, right? Teams aren't willing to give up as much, and you don't want to get shortchanged on what is a premium asset. So if they are going to move him, I'm with you. I'd pay him. If I have to give him one more year, fine. There's a void year in the deal for 2025 anyway. I think he's good on the field, and also they've talked about establishing a locker room culture. He's a good guy for that. But if you're going to move him, don't wait till October again. I think do it by the end of camp.
What would be a good return?
At this point, I think you're probably if you can get a third round pick, you're in good shape.
Okay, so I think a lot of people would take that. Oh, third round pick,
Yeah.
What is a third round pick going to do? On average, what's a third round pick going to do?
And you're getting it from a good team, so it might not be a top 100 pick even.
I mean, it's I'd rather win an extra game or two. I'm dead serious about this. I think it's more important for them to win even an extra game or two than get another third round pick. I just think, building some belief in these coaches and what they're doing is important, because my worry is that they're going to epically suck. Mayo is not the right head coach. Alex Van Pelt is not the right offensive coordinator. If Drake May is the right guy, and he might be, I don't know, he's either not ready or being put into an impossible spot. And if you come out of a 2-15, 3-14 season and nothing has worked, I don't care if you have the second overall pick. Nothing has worked, and no one believes in anybody, and there's no faith in anything, and there's no momentum in building your program. You're just another suck bag team with another high draft pick. Then nothing for me. I'd rather win a couple extra games and start to build something. And you say, well, what are you going to build with 5 or 6 wins? You're building more than if you're a 2 or 3 win team at the very, very top of the draft. Trust me. Especially if you can get some of those wins late. So that's just my belief on that. So I'm keeping Matthew Judon. Absolutely.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Maz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.